Well, I'd say it's time for a bit of tea here. In this video, we're going to go over some key points to having a successful fire the first time every time with the ferro rod, as well as taking a look at the new knife I picked up. This was a gift from my wife. Beautiful blade. We'll take a closer look at that one. Stick around. So, one of the key things to having a successful fire, especially in the wintertime or wet conditions, is to have a proper fire lay. For this video, I went around and I've collected some black poplar bark that I'm going to be using as a raft to elevate my tinder up off the ground. By doing that, you keep the moisture out of your tinder, and from having your stuff just laying on the wet snow, the ground, it'll just make your tinder wet, and it'll be 10 times harder to light it. Additionally, by having a raft, it provides extra fuel from underneath for your fire. It's definitely a great way to do it. The only way to do it, as far as I'm concerned. If you take the time to have gathered some of this stuff, it will lead to great success the first time, every time you go to light a fire. We're going to just process up a bit of this firewood to use in our stove or in our fire. So that saw, once again, is the Silky Big Boy. Love these saws, big fan of them. Part of my day kit that I take with me virtually everywhere. Now with our wood cut, one of the first big tests for this new knife, which is SGB Bowie. It's made by Puma, an American company, German steel. Beautiful blade. It's got the bone handle on it. If you can see there, nice little stamp in the handle. Beautiful, fairly light knife. I'm not sure how it'll do with chopping, but seems like it does okay, to be honest, which is quite surprising. I'm going to be honest with you guys that when I picked up this knife that my wife got me, the first thing I did is strop it. I do that with most knives I get unless I do an unboxing video on them. So this knife has been stropped. It's not like this right out of the box. I did take the time to strop it. But anyways, let's see how she does with batoning. There's some decent sized knots in here. Tilt you guys up a bit. So this is definitely going to be a test for it. Seems like it did pretty good with that. Got a big old gnarly knot in this one. There's a couple of them. It's a good test. I like to see how they do with that kind of stuff. So we're going to try to be smart about it though and split the difference in the knots. You guys can see too, this is good dense wood. It's not all rotten or punky. A little bit around the outside edge, but the center is good and solid. Seems like she does pretty good. A couple more pieces here, we'll just split in half. Alright, so test number 1, I'm pretty happy with the batoning portion of it. Now, let's grab just a chunk here. Let's see how it does with the finer tasks like feather sticks. It's not bad, really. The key when you're doing feather sticks is you want to get as many curls in each piece as possible. Like you can see this little guy on the end, he's probably got 7 or 8 little curls in him. That's the way that you want them. You want a lot of multiple curls for each single one that you do. Not bad. So I would say that successfully passes test number 2. So, because this is a tea time video, we got to get some fire on the go here real fast so we can get our water on for some tea. So as we talked about earlier, one of the key important things to do here when you're building a fire is to have a nice raft. You don't want to be building your fire directly on the ground. You want to have a raft so you can keep your fire up off the ground. Especially at the point of ignition. To light this fire, I'm going to be using the Black Pearl Camp Kit. You guys have seen that in the previous video. And that's what we're going to be using to light this. So it comes with this fat wood on a stick. We're going to give that a go and use the more to light my fire. What I do for this stuff is I scrape it with the back of the knife, and then when I'm done, there'll be a little excess ball here. I just run the blade of the knife down just to knock that off into the pile. That should be sufficient fat wood to get this going. Now, before we go too much farther, I want to point out the importance of having everything ready. If you want to light a fire and you want to light a fire quickly, you want to make sure that you've got plenty of adequate tinder, which we're using fat wood. We got lots. Kindling, which we will be using these little spruce twigs. And this is the part that I want to touch on. You want lots of this stuff. And when you light your fire, you just want to be able to set this right on top. And you've got all the stages in this bundle of your kindling right up to small fuel. And it's all in one step. And I can't stress that enough. Don't be picking out little sticks and putting on one stick at a time. You're just making the process painful. There's no need to have to do that. A fire with a ferro rod should be quick and simple. Get you guys back on the board here. Just throw it all on there in a big block, and you'll just watch the flames pull through. Keep it held down a little bit. Now you can see once it's hit this stage, I'm going to let it loft up again and start adding on these pieces that we batoned. So you can see by making the tinder or the kindling stage a one-step process rather than adding in a whole bunch of little sticks just one at a time, just accelerate the process. You'll be far more successful. There's way less chance of your fire going out. And you just have what you need way quicker. Get you guys set back up there. Now, with a good healthy fire going, we're going to get the tea going here. Water on boiling. As these ends burn off, you can always grab them and throw them back into the fire. Definitely a way quicker, faster, more successful way to do it, in my opinion. Don't quite like where that's sitting. I'm going to cheat this ahead a bit more if I can. There, that's better. So those are my tips and tricks for lighting a fire quickly with a ferro rod. Doesn't matter what kind of tinder you use. You've seen me use white birch, yellow birch. Birch bark is mainly the tinder I use here because where I'm geographically located. It's everywhere. It's easy to get. It works when it's wet. So it really is a great natural tinder. I wanted to use the fat wood on a rope that I got because hey, I bought that kit, I might as well use it. So that's why I elected to use that this time. But regardless of your tinder, accelerate your kindling stage. The quicker you do that in one process, the more successful you're going to be. There is no need to be separating the different thicknesses of your kindling. I honestly, I know a lot of people say to do that, but it is pointless. Every time you see me light a fire, you'll see me use the same kindling method, and it is very successful and you get a fire really quick. Them are my tips and tricks to lighting a fire quickly with a ferro rod the first time, every time. Use a raft and accelerate your kindling stage. Alright, so we've taken a look at the knife. Fantastic knife, I love it. It was a very thoughtful gift of my wife to get this for me. She had went to a bushcraft show down in Calgary, Alberta. And I was supposed to attend it with her, but unfortunately I got called away to work. So she decided to get this gift for me, and it was a fantastic gift. I've always wanted a bowie knife with the bone handle. It's really a fantastic blade. This is the first time I'm using it, so putting it through the paces the same time you guys are watching it. Batoning went super easy. Feather sticks were really good, tight curls. Like I said though, I did strop it. Now after the batoning and the feather sticks, it's still holding a beautiful edge. So I'm very happy with that. German steel is really good. It's 1.4114 steel, I believe, if I remember correctly. But yeah, fantastic knife. I'm really enjoying this. And the fact that it was a gift makes it that much better. The other thing I wanted to show you guys that I had picked up, and I'd always wanted one of these, is bellows. These are a fantastic bit. I mean, I'm certainly don't need it on this fire right now. But yeah, just almost basically the same as a collapsible antenna off a vehicle. 1/2 inch down to 3/8. Works extremely well. Pulls out to 2 feet. And all you do is stick it into the fire and blow. Gives the fire a bit more of a boost. Definitely a handy bit of kit to have. You won't use it tons, but when you do use it, it's a lifesaver because your face isn't in the fire when you're trying to blow into it. So the tea we are going to have today. Last time we went with Labrador tea leaves. This time, on the way out here, I picked a little bit of pine. Now, the key to this stuff is you don't want to boil it in the water. What you want to do is pull off, let's zoom you down here, but you can see what's going on. What you want to do, dump the dirt out of your cup first of all. What you want to do is pull the needles off and bust them up. Get them all ruffled up and broken. So they're all mangled and broke like that. Then just drop them into your cup. We'll do a bit more. If you boil them right in the water, the boiling, it actually breaks down the vitamin C that you get from them. So you don't want to do that. I'm going to put a good shot in here because I like to have strong tea. Save the rest of that for later. There's probably another good cup left in there. And breaking them up like that helps to speed up the steeping process. Once you put your water in, you won't have to wait as long. I think our water's at a boil here already. I don't know if you guys can see in there. It's definitely jumping quite hard. You can see the bottle jumping around on the stick. You can likely hear it boiling. It's going to spit out of there any second. Get my gloves on, pull it off of there. So now, we'll grab our cup. We'll just pour in our water. And now you just let it steep away for a bit, which is good because you ain't going to be sticking your lips on there at this point, I'll tell you that. Set the rest. Just trying to set this bottle down where it can cool off before I try to put the plastic cap back on. So the fire is still going good and strong. You guys can see it there. So last tea time video I had Caleb out, and we discussed the importance of bushcraft in your family. I'd like to expand on that in this video without him here talking strictly as a parent and a father. I have noticed a massive difference in both my kids since we started to heavily do the bushcraft and the outdoor stuff. They have both taken to it extremely well. They love the outdoors. Kids naturally want to be out there. Caleb, my youngest son, he has struggled through points of his life with interacting with kids his own age. He has a hard time relating to anything that they want to do. He's kind of past the kids stuff mentally, and he's really struggled with interacting with them, and we've noticed a huge positive in him and his personality, and most of all his confidence level since he started to do this with us. He's been far more outgoing. It gives him something to interact and talk about with the other kids who have a great fondness for bushcraft, and they're very interested in it. We get contacted all the time from people, you know, asking how to get into it, and you know, if their kids could come out and partake in this kind of stuff, and nothing but positives. And as a parent and a father, all of the positive things that we have seen from these kids, on top of just learning life lessons, how to use your hands, how to think, problem solve, how to utilize what's around you, it's just been phenomenal. We're proud parents to an extent that is almost hard to convey without just going through it. I'm sure as parents you've all had those moments where you're just so proud of your kids and their accomplishments, and for us with the bushcraft, it's an everyday thing. It's every time we take them out, every trip we take, every time they learn and they master something new, it just gives you that feeling, and it's just fantastic as a parent to feel that on a regular basis. The tea is really good. Ooh, we got some fire management to do here. We're also very happy with how bushcraft has helped us reach out to the community and to new people. Since starting this YouTube channel, we've met a lot of great people, and more people that we've talked to recently that are want to meet up, want to come out, want to do stuff. It's really a fantastic way, not only for the kids but for yourself, to meet new people, to share skills and knowledge and learn new things. It's really the community feel to it is phenomenal. It really brings people together in a positive manner, and you got to be super happy with that. I mean, that's what it's all about, is the sharing the knowledge and the getting out there, the being outdoors. I think today in our runaway roller coaster of social media is where, you know, 1 minute you got kids trying to snort condoms and eat Tide Pods, the next minute they're out there deciding whether or not we as adults should own firearms. I mean, the social media freight train here is absolutely, in my opinion, destroying our society. Don't get me wrong, I'm very thankful for the support and stuff I receive through social media, our Facebook page and YouTube, but also I can recognize that more often than not, these tools are being implemented in a negative or just demeaning nature. Not only can you use it and utilize it to share fantastic information with each other, you can use it to spread, you know, misinformation, hate, racism, you know, all these negative things in the exact same manner. And it really is unfortunate that we've hit a point in society where people would rather do that than share knowledge and help each other. But it is where we're at. And I mean, again, you know, you get into stuff like this, and it gets your kids away from the social media, the iPods, or iPads and cell phones and all that stuff, just to get out into nature and have a completely different view of life and what happens, and learn how to use their hands and to be proud of what they accomplish. It's amazing when they take up a task that requires so much effort and that they got to build with their own two hands, the amount of satisfaction that they get from it, and you can just see it beam on their faces when they accomplish stuff like that you got to be you can't help but be super proud of them and just join in that excitement. It's absolutely fantastic, and I would recommend to anybody, if you are looking for something to give you serious positive influence with your family, get into bushcraft, get into wild camping, even public camping. You know, start small. There's no need to jump into things too heavy, but get out there. Show your kids what it's like to be out into nature, and so I guarantee you they'll thank you for it, and you'll be happier yourself when you see the positive influences that it brings to your kids' lives and to your lives. The people you meet, they're fantastic, knowledgeable people, and you won't regret it. So we've touched on the benefits of bushcraft for you and your kids. We've touched on the benefits of it to you personally. Now the last one that I'd like to talk about is with your spouse. You know, I get the comments all the time that my wife must really love me to follow me around on, you know, all these crazy adventures that we go on, but taking nothing away from her, she's a fantastic woman. I just absolutely love the time that we spend together, and the important part for everybody to gather too is that she loves it as much as I do. We've done some camps last fall. We stayed in our bushcraft base camp. It was minus 25, and we stayed there for 9 days, including nights. I just can't say enough how blessed I am to be going through this with her, and you know, discovering all these new things and trying all this new stuff. I couldn't pick anybody better by my side. There's nobody else that I'd rather experience it with. And you know, every adventure, every trip that we go on brings us that much closer. You work closely together, because I mean, if you don't work together, you're not going to make it when it's minus 25. It really is excellent for team building and for just a sense of accomplishment with each other. That it's been absolutely fantastic, and the time we get to spend together. You know, when you spend a large part of your life apart. I work up north, so I'm gone for 14 days and I'm home for 7, which doesn't leave us that much time together. And when you lead busy lives as individuals, sometimes it's easy to grow that separation. Where if you have a grounding roots such as bushcraft, it really brings you back together. And we spend most of my 7 days back here. We spend at least 5 or 7 in the bush with each other. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I absolutely love it. I adore my wife. Again, there's nobody else I'd rather be doing this with out here than her. She truly is a fantastic woman. All the different stuff she's getting into that's all related and rolls back into bushcraft. The knitting, the leather working, the learning to utilize what's around you, tanning the hides, all this stuff is all stems from the same source, and it just, you know, I can't be more grateful to have her along with me doing this stuff. It is phenomenal. I pointed out a lot of positives already about bushcraft. This is just another one that goes with them, and if you're looking for something to do as a couple that is going to bring you together, try it. Just get out together, try it, see how it goes for you. Let us know. Leave some comments. Give us some feedback. On that note, I'd like to thank everybody that has been leaving comments, and for our subscribers and all the likes and stuff that we've been getting, all the positive growth on our Facebook page as well. We really appreciate all your guys' support in doing this and learning this with us. And I think I've probably rambled on long enough for one video here, but I wanted to take the time and and go over stuff with you guys as from my point of view, and what I feel about it, and the benefits I think that you can gain from it, both as a family, a father, and with your spouse. It's phenomenal, and I hope you guys try it, take it up, see how it works for you. Let me know, leave some comments. Yeah, so until next time, enjoy your tea, and we'll see you in the next one.